There's one decision Arizona Cardinals can't run from this offseason, and it's going to change everything potentially. The jury's still out on Jonathan Gannon, Johnny Venerable.
Yeah, one NFL insider cast doubt as to whether he is safe in Arizona. Plus, Paris Johnson Jr., is he headed to his first Pro Bowl or to the injured reserve? PHNX Cardinals starts now. Hey, welcome in from Studio K, presented by our friends at Circle K. It's the PHNX Cardinals podcast, for premier, #1 in the world Arizona Cardinal podcast. Like and subscribe. Leave us a 5-star wherever you get your programming. I'm Johnny Venerable. He is Brack in Studio K. Noah Maya behind the mic today. Fresh off a very emotional show yesterday, cutting through it. We're back on the JG safe or not safe train today, Bo.
Yes, what a tangled web we weave here, following this team, covering this team, supporting this team. Steven Jackson, I see you. Terry, what's up, Mr. Fat Gangster? Hey, Lopez, New Jersey Cardinal, the Cinema Warden. So many great people already in the chat. I see you, Shaff. He's back. Woo! Shaff is back. He's out of chat jail. Hit that like for Shaff. It's a monumental day for our guy.
Huge.
Of course, this episode of PHNX Cardinals, per usual, brought to you by our friends over at Bet365. Never ordinary. Download the Bet365 app today. Use the code PHNX365. You deposit $5. You bet $10, or flip that. Deposit $10, bet $5, get $150 in bonus bets. Get this, win or lose, it doesn't matter. The result of the game, it's meaningless. You still get $150 in bonus bets. That's how legit Bet365 is. Download it and use that code PHNX365.
We interrupt this Tuesday programming where we usually lead off with Nick Rallis or Drew Petzing's horror show of pressers. And we wanted to kick things off with something a little bit different today. So as we've talked about it nauseum, Jonathan Gannon's seat about as hot as anybody in the NFL right now. I think you would agree with that. Maybe throwing a Stefanski. Mike McDaniel has actually done a pretty good job of cooling things down for him and down in South Beach. Things are hot for JG. And, we've reported on this show, we believe he's safe. We've had people close to the situation tell us that. Benjamin Albright has been adamant about it. Yesterday was the first time, kind of snuck by during the Monday Night Football broadcast, where one prominent NFL insider, who, by the way, is close to the Cardinals, and we'll get to that here in a second, cast doubt on Jonathan Gannon's future as Arizona Cardinals head coach. I want to draw everybody's attention. This is Albert Breer during his typical live Q&A that he does during Monday Night Football. He's with Sports Illustrated. Let's hear from Albert.
Do you see Jonathan Gannon get fired this offseason? He's gotten blown out by every NFC West rival. I certainly don't think he's safe right now. I don't know what the owner's going to do, but it does feel to me like some level of change is coming. And I think JG knows this. Like, right now, they're 2-11, and you can't lose. I think it's 11 straight games now, and expect that to go like unchecked. And so, like, I think there's going to be significant change after the year, almost regardless. They've got a decision to make at quarterback. They've got like a team, I think, with some really good young talent on it. But is there enough based on the amount of draft capital they've had the last couple of years? I think there are a lot of fair questions to ask about the future of that team.
Look, it makes sense, right? I mean, anybody from the outside looking in, and then also you got a tapped in insider as far as Bert Breer like he is. This and look, kind of gloss over the fact he had just kind of their record
You
wrong.
gave him an extra loss, which
and like if it was an 11-game losing skid, I think this show would probably not be going on any longer. I think we couldn't endure such a thing. It's been 10 of 11, but not much better, right? You can't. It doesn't paint a prettier picture. But there's still going to be some keys in there that I think Albert didn't just gloss over, like just the things he kind of didn't have factually correct, but like the owner, what's Michael Bidwell going to do? And that's a true wild card. It doesn't fall in line with the rest of the league, with the other 31 owners, as far as here's 3 years of a sample size for you. Here's 3 years of data.
Yeah.
And then usually when you've got the record that, Gannon holds, it usually results in, a change at head coach. But, it also does line up, once you get past the Gannon part with, what everybody else is hearing, including this show, is that regardless if Gannon stays or goes, there's going to be significant changes to the staff because you can't go through the year like they did with the expectations that they had and fall horrendously short without heads rolling. There's going to be several heads that roll. There's going to be key members of the staff, if not Gannon himself, exiting. But I think Gannon just is going to be the toughest decision that, according to Michael Bidwell. And as far as how things have changed since the Niners blowout to the Rams blowout, is it's just turn this, kind of fluke season into just a full-blown crisis.
Yeah.
And you have to deal with a crisis. You can't just overlook a crisis and just say, well, we're just going to put this over here for now, and then we're going to get back onto your regular scheduled programming in 2026.
Yeah, like they're in crisis management right now. I think that's a perfect word to encapsulate what's going on, because you're right, Bo. Like when we did our show post San Francisco, I think everybody needed, including us, needed some context into why could he be safe? Let's take a deep breath. We got reassurance that he was. And then you thought, okay, could they beat the Jaguars? Could they beat Tampa? Could they show something? Could they ascend, right? Let's put the divisional games aside. Those games were embarrassing for a couple different reasons. They continue to make history in the wrong way. And then Sunday was a cruel reminder after losing games where we felt like the coaching was not good. Sunday was a reminder of, by the way, guys, welcome back to the horror show that is you trying to compete in the NFC West. And that makes things even worse. So I think things have gotten dramatically worse. And I think we'd be hard pressed, especially with this Paris news that we're going to talk about later in the show. We'd be hard pressed that they shouldn't win another game based on how they look. And regardless of, I'm not too broken up on Albert Breer thinking they have 2 or 3 wins or 11 losses in a row compared to 10 of 11. They're trending toward a 3-14 season for a year 3 regime. And it is unfathomable. And that's why Breer alluded to this for coaches in year 3. And we see Albert Breer every year. He's at every training camp. He has a close relationship with the program partially because of the amount of Ohio State players that they have, and also because of his relationship with Monty Ossenford covering the New England Patriots for so long. So that's why this is not Joe Blow, with all due respect, Jason Lockenfor, somebody throwing it up on the Twitter streets, not to take a shot at anybody. But Breer has gotten a lot right over the years about he signaled when they were going to sign Paris or draft Paris. He's gotten so much of that right. Marvin Harrison Jr. And, he even had somebody recently on his podcast and I sent this to Bo, the messaging was out the week before DeMercado fumbled that had just happened, right? With the guy from the Jets. And he got reassurance. The Cardinals, we coached to this, or we preached this before it happened with DeMercado. Well, who's he getting that from? Probably getting that from Monty Ossenford. So I think you have to have all this in context here and give it some legitimacy. Now, I don't think it changed anything ahead of this weekend, but I was talking to somebody earlier today. I'm like, I can think he's safe today. And there are people that can hope he's safe today. He's a good person. He's a good man. I think he's a good coach. You can't be getting blown out and have your games be non-competitive. I don't care what your roster looks like. It's unacceptable.
Right. Yeah, if there weren't already sources within the organization that Albert Breer had locked in, I mean, like you said, close with Ohio State. Justin Fry is now their offensive line coach. It could have been several, and I don't think the speculation of where it's coming from is a moot point.
Yeah.
But to continue to kind of pile on, why someone would come to this conclusion, and I think it meets more where the fan base is at, because the fan base is saying, make the case for me to stay, because I've got this large, huge, massive indictment of a case that should get this thing done. The team it doesn't just lose. I mean, it looks unprepared. It looks disorganized. It looks uninspired, at least as of Sunday. And as we've gone over, it's not a talent issue. Even though somebody's going to try to force feed you the injuries on offense, it's not a talent issue. It's a leadership issue. Cardinals didn't promise wins overnight. We know that, right?
Right.
That wasn't the case in 23 and 24. Obviously, like a collapse at the end of the season was met with, well, there's progress. Progress is progress. But regardless of that, they promised direction. And the direction of this organization has gone off the rails.
Yeah.
The direction that was in place, it was firmly in place, and it was on line, and it was heading through the tunnel with the light on the other side of it. It's no longer on the rails of this. Right now, the direction is just straight down.
Yeah. And they only have themselves to blame. Like Gannon would tell you this, you're professionals. Like no one wants to hear about excuses. And to his credit, they're not making excuses. I think we'd like to hear different messaging in press conferences, but we're beyond that now. Like, it's kind of sad, and I hate to kind of sound like an asshole, but you've made your bed. Like this is what it is. Like I don't expect him and Nick and Drew to come on these press conferences and say something that's going to magically change the perception. There's just too many losses. That's what's happening. The cut and dry. You can talk about fan apathy. You can talk about ticket sales. You can talk about players disengaging. What happens on Sunday? Every Sunday for the past 3 years, for the most part, outside of a little stint last year before the bye, more times than not, they lose. That's it. That is the saga of this regime. And I'll include Monty Ossenford in this. The Ossenford-Gannon regime is synonymous with losing on NFL Sundays.
Yeah.
And that is the most damning argument that you can have. I'm watching, national TV last night, and it's Houston Texans and Kansas City Chiefs. Houston Texans were an expansion franchise. The Kansas City Chiefs were dog water in the 90s and the early 2000s. Things can change. But you don't get half a decade with a current regime to try to innate change if they don't, in their words, don't know how to win yet.
Yeah. I mean, with all that said, too, and this is part of Breer's, answer here is you've got one of the more dangerous decisions in sports looming this offseason. We'll get into what that is. More of us dissecting Albert Breer's comments and Paris Johnson Jr.'s latest status update. It's all next. PHNX Cardinals.
While the Arizona Cardinals don't look good on the field, you can look good off the field with our friends at Mack Weldon. Repping a Mack Weldon shirt today. That's because Mack Weldon balances classic pieces with updated details to keep you looking sharp. Not flashy, just classic, always in style, and made from the world's most comfortable performance materials. Easy to style and versatile. You don't even have to think about it. Throw on some clothes, you'll be ready to attack your day, and they're the go-to choice for guys who want to look great without even trying. The Mack Weldon clothes are designed to fit your style and the demands of modern life. I'm sick of those graphic tees. I'm sick of dressing like a 21-year-old. I'm ready to go and tack for over 10 years. Mack Weldon has designed timeless, innovative menswear to help you move throughout your day with confidence. Check them out right now. Fall into comfort with Mack Weldon's Ace Collection. Go to MackWeldon.com. Get 20% off your first order, $125 or more with the bonus code PHNX. That's MackWeldon.com/promo code PHNX.
As I sit here with you fine people right now, we are 15 shopping days away from Christmas. That's right. You better get on it. And of course, it's already holiday party season. You got the white elephant gifts, the gift exchange. Look no further than our friends over at the Arizona Lottery. Love that play. It's always a winning play. Play the holiday tickets from the Arizona Lottery for a chance to fill your stocking with cash. Hardcore, cold, hard cash. How about that? Sounds great to me. 6 festive scratchers to choose from, including Cash Countdown, which prizes up to $250,000. Candy King Cash, which smells just like peppermint. Smells great and also could win you some cash. Love it. Plus, you can dash to instant prizes with holiday fast play tickets. When it comes to holiday gifts, look no further than the Arizona Lottery and their holiday scratchers. It's the best place to start. It takes all, of course, the painstaking thinking of like, what do they want for Christmas? Here's a stocking stuffer anybody's going to love. Love to play. Spread holiday cheer with the holiday scratchers from Arizona Lottery. Play and gift today.
Hit that like button. I want to get to the super chat. So kind. $50.
Whoa.
Thank you so much. Let's grab this one here. Vito Valenti. Hey, JV and Bo, Cards fan from Pottsville, Pennsylvania. Been watching you guys since the Cliff firing. Just wanted to say thanks for all the coverage. Only Eagles fans and Steeler fans around here, so nobody to talk Cardinals ball with. So generous. Thank you so much, Vito.
Is that the home of the Pottsville curse?
I think it might be. Man, that's a double whammy. Living in Pottsville, the curse is there. The curse is with the Cardinals. And also then you have to have the curse of the Cardinals just as the team that you root for. That's tough.
Yeah. Look, but we love Vito. We love that $49.99. Unbelievably generous offer, especially during the holiday season. Thank you so much. A lot of people joined us on that fateful day when Cliff Kingsbury was given his walking papers on Black Monday.
Yeah.
And it's kind of the December that year is eerily similar to this December. And
right.
We think about Cliff and we're seeing Cliff's name brought back up. And, as we talk about Gannon, is this the end? It's really kind of, it's eerie. It's fascinating all at the same time. But Vito, thank you so much. I'm glad you enjoy the coverage so much. We love getting to do this thing every day for people just like yourself. So thank you and happy holidays to you and yours. Let's get back into this. Breer brought up kind of the gravity of this offseason and the decisions that are looming for this team. And it's like the decision to pivot off of Kyler Murray or any quarterback for that matter. It's a dangerous decision for any organization to make. And when you are kind of resetting your signal caller, you need to do it with the coaching infrastructure in a better standing than is right now. Like this is as unstable as it gets. So when you talk about 2026 and what's going to be on the line for whoever makes it to that spot, it's how could they possibly find success when they are staring down, pivoting at the QB spot, and then also coming off of the year that they did where you've lost a lot of confidence as coaching staff and its ability to be competitive and just outright win football games.
Well, I think that's where a lot of Cardinal fans coming from a very sane place are like, hey, this is what this is. You're underachieving with this talent. Clearly the road has ended for Kyler Murray as a Cardinal. And there are a lot of people frustrated with that. And then, of course, there are a lot of people that are counting the days until K1 is gone. All that being said, there would be much more patience involved if you had a new regime that came in here and got a bridge quarterback and got a rookie and just said, we are going to do this right and we're going to do it together with the security that Gannon and Ossenford could get and the reinforcement from Michael Bidwell going into a quote-unquote lame duck year and then pulling in irresponsibly a rookie into that with the expectations you have to win 9 to 11 games. It's just not a good – we've seen how that goes for the Matt Nagy's of the world and the Eberfluses. Like, it does not go well. So, don't you feel like if they hired Robert Saleh or Clint Kubiak or one of these guys, Ossenford's probably around, but let's just say they get a new head coach and they're picking fourth, right? And a couple of these quarterbacks declare. People would have one expectation: just get a quarterback, and then start a rookie quarterback and develop him, and try your best, win games, show some competitiveness. We like the talent, develop the talent, but there'd be no expectation, in my opinion, for you have to win this many games because you've got a new head coach and you've got a 22-year-old. That you remove that element or parts of those elements, it becomes a very irresponsible proclamation because I think Michael Bidwell will have unrealistic expectations. And then parts of the fan base are like, okay, you're keeping JG. Where's my 10-win season?
Right. And don't you think, like, as a general manager, and I don't think Monty Austinford is this kind of selfish of a guy, but,
Right.
you know, dog eat dog business. Like, doesn't that create more leash for a guy like Monty Austinford? Like, as long as they're not a 4 or 5, 6 win team next year, if they show progress, I think that he gets to kind of continue on. Like, wouldn't he say, like, well, like, if I tie myself to Gannon, it's probably we either live together or we die together. Like, they're Thelma and Louise right now, as far as how this goes, to use a really old reference. Like, I think that, you know, Monty Austinford, like, he would probably be better suited for trying to, like, veer the organization's direction towards another coach. But, like, if he's got that conviction, this is a guy who sought out Gannon. He had him on his short list back when he was preparing to get GM interviews the summer before the 2023 offseason. Like, he clearly has a ton of conviction that Jonathan Gannon is a head coach in this league. It'd be really kind of fascinating to see, like, how, like, is he going to do it just out of sheer survival?
I disagree with that. I think Monty is in the category. Sorry, regardless, because I
how dare you disagree with my point?
I made a point yesterday that I'll reiterate today. I think Monty is a mandate to keep around because I think he's with Michael Bidwell. They're going to try to land this plane that is the Kyler Murray trade. I don't think you're hiring a GM to say, hey, first order of business, come in here and we have to figure this out. I mean, it's not impossible. Michael Bidwell doesn't want to do that. They want to be able to, the minute Black Monday turns around, and get Kyler Murray healthy, pass a physical, ship him out of town. That's what they want to do. So, like, you're not doing that by yourself. You're not doing that while you have to go through the rigors of a head coaching search and a GM search. We saw how stringent the rules were in 2023 when they went through that process. Michael Bidwell doesn't want to do that again. But here's where I'll push back on you. I think Monty Austinford, if he get Gannon or not, I think he's got the longest leash, because I think if you get a rookie quarterback, just say, okay, let me go get another coach in 2027, which would be, or even in this offseason, like, he'll be tied to that coach and this rookie quarterback. I think we should use Steve Keim as an example. And I know Keim had a lot of success early, predicated by Bruce Arians, but I mean, Keim got 10 years. I'm sure Monty Austinford, when asked about it, would tell Michael Bidwell privately, we have really good players, and our players are highly drafted, and look how many picks we've had, and the guys are developing. I mean, hell, look at 2023 draft class. Paris Johnson Jr. leads all tackles in Pro Bowl voting. Paris is going to be a Pro Bowl tackle. That's Monty's first pick. Michael Wilson. There's not a bigger case for being held back by this staff than Michael Wilson, who's got a chance to be a 1,000-yard receiver. Garrett Williams. And then, we can go through 2024 has been a nightmare. But again, you could put a lot of that on the coaching and the developing. I think Monty Austinford, the more I've slept on this, is a made man. I don't think he's going anywhere. And I don't think Gannon or not, I don't think it impacts it. I think he's getting 2 coaches minimum to be able to see this through.
Wow. You didn't have to stick the knife in my back to make a similar point to what I made. Didn't have to do that. But I mean, you just think that Monty is a made man regardless, where I think that he could create some kind of lessen the pressure by finding a new head coach this offseason. That's all I'm saying. But also, when you've got a guy like Monty Austinford who, how he operates, he's got his guys. He seems to me and we don't know too much, but he seems like a loyal guy. Would he be willing to, have JG offed in this situation?
I think if I'm Monty Austinford, you have to take blame for the 2024 offseason, but I also think that there's got to be part of him who's just like, hey, are my players not being utilized in the way they need to be, especially on the offensive side. We've talked about that. Monty will be back, and I think Monty is an advocate for Jonathan Gannon.
Yes.
But I also, I believe that. And so is Michael Bidwell. And that's why we've been consistent with our take that he's going to be safe. But there's just the reality, and we can put a bow on this, then we're going to take a break and come back and talk horror show press conferences. But I think there's just a reality that when you have a season like this, a major domino has to fall. And when you're non-competitive and the fan base is reciprocating your non-competitive nature with, I'm not interested in your product, I'm going to check back in January, you better do what's necessary, fair or not, like you're going to have to succumb to that. And they're not above, and I think they would tell you this privately, they're not above the optics of what could happen in this final month. If you're showing up every Sunday and you're losing every game after losing every game for the better part of 2 months and are non-competitive and are getting blown out to the point where other teams are pulling starters in the second half, there is no surviving that. I've never seen that in the NFL. And that's why Sunday was so damning for him. Because again, you thought, oh, that first possession, they're going to fight their ass off and they're going to be, and they just laid down on defense. Those are things that, as much as Gannon and Bidwell, or Ossenfort and Bidwell, will want to reinforce with Gannon, what do you say? What do you say to your fan base in January?
Yeah, I mean, regardless of what was said a month ago, I mean, this is reality as far as the league goes. Once the message stops landing, the head coach pays for it. It's not just an opinion of the show or, the fan base. It's like, it's basically NFL law.
Right.
Like, message stops landing in the locker room, that's when changes have to be made. So, whether ownership wants to admit it or not, major changes coming. I feel like you could create your own, choose your own adventure as far as this offseason is. Like, you're going to go with the head coach. You're going to get rid of the OC, and who are you going to bring in an OC? And you're going to keep the DC, or you're going to change the DC. You're going to get rid of the special teams coach. That group has struggled mightily this season. Getting rid of the quarterback. Do you go to the draft? Do you get a veteran market? What do you do there? There's so many major moves that have to be made that are going to impact the success of this franchise in the immediate and in the long term. So Arizona Cardinals, no longer are they rebuilding their roster. Now it becomes the reality is they have to rebuild credibility. At some point, the remaining entities or just people in this organization that hold key positions have to recontract with this fan base.
Yeah, you have to rebuild the leadership of the team.
Yeah.
Roster's good. I like the roster. I think somebody can win here. They're not winning with what they have. And that, again, the 27 players you drafted the last 3 years, they're going to be around next year. Free agents, you're going to have money. You want to go another year with this? We're coming back around the break. Nick Rallis taking ownership. But really, what's the root cause of it? That's coming up. The holiday season has arrived, and Rally House is your go-to spot to shop for all your favorite local Arizona team gear. With tens of thousands of products to shop from, what are you waiting for? Shop many of their 3 locations, Tempe, Mesa, and my personal favorite, Glendale by State Farm Stadium. If you checked out everything you need from vintage gear, throwbacks, hats, jerseys, they got them. Plus, perfect stocking stuffers, drinkware, signage, coolers, even socks and sunscreen. Whatever you're looking to gear up for your Arizona sport outing, do it with our friends at Rally House. They've got ASU, U of A, Cardinals, Suns, Diamondbacks, and more. They're the only place that carries every single Arizona sports team. Find your local Rally House location. Shop their entire product assortment online. Visit rallyhouse.com today.
Unbelievable what's going on at Rally House. It's the one-stop shop, and let's talk about something that's also great and easy decision to make. It's our friends over at Smirnoff. All right, real quick, holiday traditions. You've got tree, you've got lights, you got ugly sweaters. At our house, we're officially added mixing cocktails to the list. Yeah, you can judge me. Sure, go ahead and do that. But I am who I am. And when it comes to our friends over at Smirnoff, when they come in, they've got a brand new flavor that absolutely belongs in your holiday rotation. How about Smirnoff Spicy Tamarind? It's unbelievable. It's sweet. It's spicy. It's bold. And it's dangerous enough to make Uncle Bob start telling those stories. You say, hey, knock it off, Uncle Bob. But everybody's going to have a great time. Obviously, do it responsibly. Here's the best part. December 21st, State Farm Stadium, Smirnoff is giving Cardinals fans a chance to try their exclusive signature serves featuring spicy tamarind. It's unbelievable. The collab with Squirt plus the game day specific opponent themed drink built for this Falcons matchup. I heard they're doing some silly like Pokemon Go thing at the stadium. This is the real event that's going to get you geared up for this battle royale for draft status at State Farm Stadium. So if you're cheering on the Cardinals in person December 21st against the Falcons, make it a point to stop by and see our friends over at Smirnoff Truck and grab their signature serve and level up your game day.
Nick Rallis met with Bo and the rest of the Phoenix media today, as well as OC Drew Petzing. And it's funny, every time clips are posted, whether on Bo's Twitter or PHNX Cardinals, Cardinal fans, they ratio them into oblivion. And you love to see that kind of engagement. Let's start, Bo, with Nick Rallis, who had a take that left some people a little frustrated.
Yeah, I think it's more so because they probably just read the quote that I posted, the little just snippet from his whole answer. And if they had listened to it, they probably would have recognized that he wasn't saying like, it was the plan. I knew it was a bad plan, and I just went with it. This was Nick Rallis when he was asked about what went wrong, where the Rams come out, guns blazing, 5 straight scoring drives, including 4 touchdown scores in a row. To blow out the Cardinals.
The biggest thing, and I felt it as soon as I walked out of the stadium, probably before that, was did not like the plan, to be honest. Like, I felt like, I didn't give the guys a chance to go out there and execute and win downs. So it starts with me. We got to set up a better plan than we did. Obviously, you see the result of it. Not even close to what we need to do to beat a really good offense. And, that goes into the preparations early in the week, how you set it up, how you practice it, what wrinkles you're putting in. And so a lot of layers to what I think that I could have done better, starting with myself, to put our guys in a position to go, compete against really good offense.
I mean, no issue with that.
Yeah.
I mean, there's not anything that can be said after a performance like that. And Rallis has come under fire in recent weeks, and for good reason. Cardinals, plummeting after a promising defensive season last year. Yeah, that's right. We need some Smirnoff watching this team.
That's right.
Artichokes. Let's look on the offensive side of the ball. Drew Petzing.
I agree with you. Like, when you give up 5 consecutive scoring drives, like nothing is going to be the right chaser to wash that out of your mouth. It's just not. And you're going to look at the person who pulls the strings, who puts the players in position, and say what went wrong, and it went horrendously wrong. And now it's just like, okay, that happened. Now you have to move on. Like, CJ Stroud he hasn't had a great, encore to his rookie season, where actually in the rookie season, you guys had the best performance against CJ Stroud, turning him over 3 times. You've got to be able to have a rebound performance defensively, or people are going to continue to pile on Nick Rallis, regardless of what he says at the press conference. Somebody who's, I think, never going to win a press conference from here on forward, and probably has just 3 more of these. We talked to Drew Petzing today, and I'd asked him, what he had some success as far as the opening drive. They kind of knifed through the Rams defense on the opening drive, and then asked him to follow up what went wrong after that.
Not so much maybe adjustments. I think the pocket got a little dirtier as the game went, which we expected to some extent. They continue to Rolodex their coverages, which is a big part of who they are as a defense, which always makes it hard. Because you're not necessarily saying, all right, we're going to guarantee this look or this coverage and this is what we're going at, and really requires the quarterback to be disciplined about going through his process and make sure the ball is going to the right place. They brought some pressure. I thought they did a nice job. You saw a lot of times when they played man, which is not a huge part of who they are, putting 2 guys right on Trey McBride to make sure that he didn't have a lot of individual matchups, which is, teams are going to do that, and that probably opened the door for Mike Wilson and some of the other guys to produce there. But wanted that to continue, and we hit a little road bump there in the middle, but got to go back and make sure that doesn't continue.
The road bump he's talking about, when the score was 10-10 and the Rams continued their onslaught, offensively was 6 consecutive scoreless drives for the Cardinals offense. Just a little bump, just a little speed hump. Don't scrape your bumper on it. No, it was more than that. And like when we talk about pressure being brought, change coverages, I mean, well, that's the NFL. I mean, that's the expectation. I don't know, like there is a difference, and it's just a little snafu, just a little blemish where we were a tiny bit stagnant for 6 consecutive drives. But it just, as you said, 17 points in 3 consecutive games. We had this conversation, like the yardage is there, and a lot of it's in garbage time. But like between the 20s, the Cardinals probably not the worst team, but like in the red zone, they just find a way to just torpedo their chances at scoring points.
It's just it blows my mind. Like I can't believe he is going to finish this year before January. And this is not a knock on him as a person, but like Jonathan Gannon's job is now in question because this season is unraveled, and you enabled this guy this entire offseason.
Yeah.
You talked about you did this to your, like, that's why it's hard to feel sorry for people today. Because like it's a $1 billion industry. There's an immense amount of pressure, and then just to be overly loyal to somebody, and we're going to put it on the players, and Kyler Murray mulligan and all this other stuff. It's just like, well, no, like the great franchises and the great staffs go out every offseason and they think, how are we going to make our staff stronger? And here's what I think for Jonathan Gannon. We know definitively that he thinks that way defensively. And it's not working out. But like he walked Bo and I through the process of, looking for a new defensive line pass rush specialist and how rigorous that was, and shifting off those guys. And it's just like, but the offense, it honestly just feels like, you guys worry about that side. And he's just been given an unlimited amount of control, and everybody, and he's going to, like, if Jonathan Gannon gets fired in January, you look back to these games, like they'd still probably be a tough watch at the end of the year. Titans game, you scored 22 points against the Titans, loss.
Yeah.
You scored 15 points against Robert Saleh. They scored 16. I can count probably 4 or 5 wins this year with a competent coordinator offensively that they win. And then at least Jonathan Gannon can breathe a little bit.
Sure.
But you didn't have the foresight or the self-awareness to say, like, sorry, Drew, you're not getting it done. We're gonna make a change. That happens in every industry.
Yeah.
And go ahead.
I mean, it's a great point. I mean, I think like they're able to pull out those games against some of these teams, and it changes the complexion in the way that we're talking about the head coach. I mean, I don't think, like, if they have even 5 wins, I think that, sure, there's going to be some furious fans out there. Regardless, it's not good enough because the standard needs to be higher. Like, I'm not going to be sitting here and say we're going to accept that, but it wouldn't be as raucous of calling for his job.
As bad as it can get right now.
Right. And as far as the conversations that we have, and I know you need to take press conferences with a grain of salt because it's all coach speak, right? But as far as it's the way that Gannon talked about how McVay and LaFleur offensively dictated that game, as he said, played the game on their terms. It hasn't happened once for the Arizona Cardinals offensively. They react instead of dictating, and it's a pattern. It's been a pattern for 3 years. It's like, we're going to take what the defense gives us instead of saying, this is who we are. We were talking to Baldy last week. He was talking about Ben Johnson. He's like, he's got a 7th round pick running back. He's got, this offensive line that they patchwork together this year. And Ben Johnson still is just, he does whatever he can. He's bullish in establishing the run. And what is their identity? How do they overcome Caleb Williams and these struggles that he still has in his 2nd season? They're a bully in the run game. And the Cardinals used to have that identity, and they went away from it. And like Drew Petzing doesn't have his identity anymore, and now has a pattern of reacting instead of dictating it. And I don't think it's just not fixable at this point. And it's just, it really is unfortunate because you're right. Like if they just do it, figure out a way to not shoot themselves in the foot a couple times, at the very least, you know, this you're not looking at a bigger kind of facelift this offseason.
If he fires Drew Petzing and promotes Clayton Adams, he has officially has a job in 2026. Do you feel confident saying that?
Yeah,
I think if last January they would have said we're firing Drew, we're going to search for a new OC, Clayton's going to interview for it, and then it came out Clayton was a hot commodity. Cardinals just hire Clayton Adams. You're going to remain our O-line coach. We're going to bring over Justin Fry from Ohio State, but Clayton, you're going to run things. They are unequipped. They probably have 5 to 6 wins right now. Again, not the expectation, but I don't forget how elite the run game was last year. And here is what bothers me the most. Knowing the situation at hand, I know the Cardinals put a lot of their offensive struggles on the absence of players. And you just brought up Chicago, for instance. We talk about Dallas. Like these teams, their offensive line isn't like a fourth is capable as what the Cardinals had the last 2 years and what they brought into this year. I mean, John Gaines was outstanding over the weekend. Why isn't he even playing? It's like their third best PFF player. There's Trott and Evan Brown out there.
Yeah.
Isaiah Adams was supposed to pop this year until the coaching staff stunted his growth. They had to bench him for Will Hernandez on one leg. That stuff doesn't happen when you have a competent offensive coordinator / O-line coach. Like Kelvin Beachum last year was seamless. He was outstanding. Well, why was that? Who was coaching him? I mean, they have made so many mistakes that they just compound on time. It was like what we talked about yesterday. And that is the unequivocal number one reason, if he gets fired, that's what's going to be his undoing. Loyalty to his staff that was too inexperienced. And if I'm a Cardinal fan, we like Jonathan Gannon. We'll support him if he's back. But I'm going to tell you right now, the biggest concern that you're going to have is you can take this, they're going to fire people in January if Gannon sticks around. Multiple coordinators will be fired. Do they know who to hire? Do you feel confident in their ability to do that? Like, did they luck into Clayton? Drew brought Clayton with him from Cleveland, gave him that recommendation.
He was from Indy.
Well, no, but he had spent time in Cleveland, didn't he? I thought maybe I had that wrong.
Regardless, no, it's a fair, very fair question, and I understand people who are skeptical of it. As far as key member of that offensive line, actually, the only consistent member of the offensive line, his status is in doubt. An update on Paris Johnson Jr. Plus. You guys are crushing in the chat. Your super chats all coming up. PHNX Cardinals.
Do us a favor. Do yourself a favor. Check out our friends at Circle K and join the inner circle. I know we got a lot of sodies out there. Buy 2, get 1 free. Coke, Sprite, Dr. Pepper, 12 packs. That's what they're calling folks that are addicted to soda. I'm not judging. Neither is Circle K. You can do buy 2, get 1, 12-ounce Red Bull. Hello, that'll get you going. 2 for $15, 15-pack Pepsis, and a 12-pack Gatorade mix and match. Again, put aside the conventional grocery stores. Check out Circle K for the best possible deals. My favorite, I love the 2 for $2.75 Arizona tea at 22 ounces. Top it off with a $1 cookie. How could you go wrong? You can't. Join the inner circle for free by downloading the Circle K app today. Terms and conditions apply at participating locations. Visit CircleK.com for more details. Ask about a Circle K gift card this holiday season.
That's an amazing gift idea. Also, the gift of entertainment. Let's level up with our friends over at Gila River Resorts and Casinos. Achieve legendary status. Sure, the Cardinals have ruined our Sundays, but don't let it completely take down your weekend. Go to Gila River Resorts and Casinos. There are 4 locations. Wild Horse Pass, which, of course, we love for away games. That's where our watch parties are. Lone Butte, Vequiva, Santan Mountain. Experience the best the Valley has to offer. Check out the sports book. That's where you're going to get more action and make things interesting, even though you're expecting a big, huge L on your Sunday from your favorite football team. But you can be a big, fat winner. Johnny and I, when we're leaving our watch parties, we're always looking at those tantalizing table games. We're looking at the slots. It's unbelievable. 4,500 slots. They are what it's all about. unprecedented level of entertainment at Gila River Resorts and Casinos. Achieve legendary status. You do you. Visit playatgila.com for more details.
You were correct. Clayton Adams did come from Indianapolis, so maybe hire more people from there. I don't know.
Not Cleveland?
Not Cleveland.
Wow.
Paris Johnson Jr., number one in Pro Bowl voting, which was great to see. Austin Ford is bound to now have his first Pro Bowl draftee. Bad news is he got banged up on Sunday, and there was a report from Rap Sheet Bo that he's going to miss a little bit of time week to week with an MCL sprain. I guess there's an outside chance he could play this weekend. My opinion on this is firm. He's one of your most important players. Shut it down. Shut it down. Right. See you in 2026. He sounded like, per you and a couple other people who's walking around, he looked good after the game. We do not, with all due respect, and I pray for Jacoby Brissett against Houston this weekend. Paris is one of your probably 5 most important players into 2026.
Yeah, you don't want to turn an MCL sprain into something that's more serious than that. Paris ended last year on IR. Some people forget, with a knee issue as well. So, yeah, with the games not mattering any longer, the Cardinals long eliminated from playoff contention, it is scary as hell to go up against Danielle Hunter and Will Anderson, both double-digit sack guys. But this is a necessary evil at this point. That's right, Steven Jackson. Rest in peace, Jacoby. It's going to be a tough day out there. But you can't force it with Paris Johnson Jr. at this point. You got to get him back to healthy, and if that means we don't see him the rest of the season, that's something I'm willing to live with. So Paris Johnson Jr. there, and yeah, as I was reporting, like I saw him, walking around. He stayed on the sidelines per Theo Mackey. And he was a guy that he didn't have any crutches or anything, but he did look a little gimpy. You could tell his knee was hurting in the post game, but it didn't look like it was something serious, like very severe, to where he could just maybe rehab this thing and get on with it. So that's good news for a first round pick. We'll get updates on Marv and Walt tomorrow. I did see this, speaking of Theo Mackey, put this out here. This was via Next Gen Stats. And Darius Robinson, did you see this? On Sunday, his average, depth between him and the quarterback on Sunday, him and Matthew Stafford, was like, he was barely even in the stadium. I think it was like 6 yards. He was 6 yards away from Stafford on average on Sunday.
I'm not going to sit here and kill a year 2 kid. Disappointing. But the one thing that I assumed that this regime could do was elevate defensive rookies and first and second year players and get them up to speed, right? I'm going to ask you a question.
Mm-hmm.
Who is this current, put the offense off to the side for a second. Gannon, Rallis, these guys. Who have they developed defensively that has turned into a cornerstone player out of 27 draft picks? I can think of 1, maybe 2. Like Walt looks all worldly,
yeah.
But he hasn't played enough. Who have they developed? And that's a really nice player for them.
Yeah.
I mean, Garrett Williams is, I think, 1. I think you put Garrett Williams in that category. And I think, like, you maybe want to say, like, Dante Stills, maybe.
Sure. I mean, it depends on what you're setting the bar as. Like, are we talking like surefire starter guy that?
Yeah, so that's why I'm struggling here. The point I'm trying to make is that was supposed to be like the easiest box to check.
Mm-hmm.
So we were excited when they drafted Cody Simon. He's unplayable right now. He looks unplayable. Darius Robinson, like that's why if they were to make a change, you do not have to get an offensive guy here. You have so much defensive talent. Like, come on, give me a break. These kids can play. Some of these guys were really big time. Suddenly no one can play. Suddenly everybody's bad. Like, you had to have Zaven Collins. You had to bring him back. He's a big part of what we're doing. You can't run defend worth a damn. That's his job. I think part of this narrative right now is the malpractice of these defensive players. It's like, guys, This was the one box that you had to check. You're not checking it.
Right.
Yeah, I know Josh Sweat's a good player for you. He's been in the league for 8 years.
Right.
Develop somebody.
Right. Yeah, I mean, it's Sweat and Campbell who are leading the Cardinals in sacks with 11 and 5.5, but they've been doing that. They've been producing. Like who have you drafted? Who have you developed as a draft and develop organization? We've yet to see somebody pop. It's a fair criticism of the current regime on top of a lot of fair criticism. Your super chats on the other side of this thing. It's Johnny Bo. It's PHNX Cardinals.
You know what? I'm a procrastinator. I always wait to the last minute to get folks gifts for the holiday season. And I'm going to tell you right now, our friends at Aurora Frames, they promote that. They're ready to hook you up because if you're a last minute shopper like me, you know the feeling. Empty shelves, everything is sold out. Why do you need Aurora Frames? They're the solution with a gift that feels personal and high quality. They've got upload unlimited photos and videos. They've got preloaded photos before it even ships. Keep adding from anywhere at any time. You don't just have to sit there with the device. Personalize your gift. Make it special for those that you love and you share this holiday season. Speaking of sharing, share photos and videos effortlessly and comes with a gift box included. Every frame comes packaged in a premium, not some trash box, a premium gift box with no price tag. So again, you can give it out, dish it out. I can't tell you how many people I got it for this holiday season. The deal is unbelievable. For a limited time only, save on the perfect gift by using AuroraFrames.com. Get $35 off Aurora's best-selling Carver Mat Frames, #1 by Wirecutter, by using the bonus code PHNX. That's PHNX at checkout. That's AuroraFrames.com. Promo code PHNX. This deal is exclusive to listeners, and frames sell out fast. So grab them now. Order yours just in time this holiday season. Terms and conditions apply.
Disgusting boxes from the competition out there. Gross.
So gross.
Yeah, no, we're not about that. Of course, this season you are just spending money, regardless who you are, charging up, of course, throwing your debit card on each gift that you're spending on. Why not get the points you deserve from that? Give yourself a little present of having the right checking account for you that fits your style. Make my style checking with the Mountain America Credit Union your lifestyle. Everyone needs those checking accounts, right? Those debit cards. So why not get the built-in bennies that you deserve? Mountain America's My Style checking account has the perks for you. You can enjoy restaurant deals. Who doesn't love to go out to a restaurant and get a little bit off the bill because of who they bank with? Fantastic. Mobile phone protection, telehealth access, identity protection, loan rate discounts. Who doesn't need a nice discount on a loan these days as those interest rates are sky high? Get in with My Style checking with Mountain America Credit Union. Also, you get offers on travel and events. Our guy, Noah, is just a world traveler all of a sudden. He better check in on it as well. Mountain America Credit Union. Make it My Style your lifestyle. Visit macu.com/mystyle to apply. Insured by NCUA. Membership required based on eligibility. Some benefits require no cost registration, activation, terms and conditions and exclusions apply. But visit macu.com/mystyle.
Jumping into your super chats. Appreciate everybody watching. Hit that like button. Over 350 watching live right now. Desert Vulture, $2. Question is, PHNX question. Does Pete Carroll have any coaching value if the Raiders fire him? He knows the NFC West, just thinking outside the box. Probably not at this point.
No. I mean, you want a veteran coach, but you don't want a coach in his 70s like Pete. We have a ton of respect for Pete Carroll. I mean, both Johnny and myself like Pete. I think this year showed that, the Seahawks were probably right moving off of him, pivoting another direction. And as far as kind of taking the undertaking of a rebuild in any capacity, it might be too much for Carroll at this stage in his career. But Hall of Fame coach, no doubt about it. AZ Moses.
Sorry, there's another Desert Vulture that snuck in here. Question if JG realizes his job isn't safe. I know he hasn't been told that his job's not safe. And I know he got encouragement earlier this year, but so we got a long way to go before January. So I'm sure Cliff Kingsbury was told he's probably safe at one point or the other. Like that, he had just signed an extension. He didn't think he was going to get fired.
Yeah. AZ Moses now. If Paris is out Sunday, this O-line may very well get Jacoby hurt, and it will be Slova's season with the last 3 games. Lord, can it just be January 5th now?
Well, appreciate you, AZ Moses, for being a member for 3 months, and I'll piggyback that. Steven Jackson also with $3 asking how much longer till Slovis starts. I think there's a real chance he starts the finale. I think there's a very good chance that they bench Jacoby or they shut Jacoby down and they just say, we would like to evaluate Keaton Slovis in the finale. I think I think that's very well within the realm of possibility.
Keeping it going here. I don't even want to entertain that.
Do you know?
Yeah.
Do you not agree with that?
I don't want it for myself.
Well, yeah.
Libertarian Sasquatch 499. Losing's one thing, but JG comes on every Monday, co-signing it, saying he loved it and wouldn't do anything differently. Just gives you a bad taste. I get that.
No pushback there. I mean, we've seen a lot of coaches be fired for press conferences where they've been off. Like Cliff really didn't know what to say.
Mm-hmm.
With JG, yeah. I mean, the hostility with Cliff didn't exist to this level that it does with Gannon now. I think I can say that 100. A lot of people thought, like, hey, keep Cliff because he and Kyler, worked well in the past. Like, the problem with Gannon is they just got nothing to lean on.
Mm-hmm. AZ Moses is back. How about if JG believed in K1 as much as he made it seem when Petzing wouldn't make his offense fit K1's skill set, he should have been fired ASAP.
Yep, he was. And again, it's like if you think Kyler Murray is your ticket to stability, you make that change 10 out of 10 times. OCs, no offense to Drew, are a dime a dozen compared to quarterbacks.
Here we go with Brian P. The only reason to keep JG is to get guaranteed top 5 pick for next year's rookie QB class. We're just delaying the inevitable.
History says if they keep Gannon, he will be fired next year. That's the unfortunate part of it. And like, how is he going to buck that in this division without a long-term option at QB? It's just that's not an opinion. Those are facts. Bo, we had a chart that broke it down. Like these guys get fired.
Yeah, very few make their way to the 4th year and beyond that with this type of record statistically. Only value JG has is to fly out to Pottsville, PA, and give the Maroons the championship trophy to reverse the curse, says Desert Vulture. I think we need to take a field trip out there and maybe give some of our own mojo.
Yes, I'd love to be flown out to Pennsylvania. Jonathan, 499. Can you imagine how mad the fan base will be if JG has another failed season next year? I think the fan base will be more upset in the offseason because I think if Gannon is brought back and he doesn't perform, people will say like, okay, now you can finally get on with it. But like reinforcing Gannon in January and then sitting through an entire offseason and knowing what could be coming next year would be very difficult. It's become an almost impossible task. It's almost impossible to do.
Jonathan, fine. If JG is dead, who is your top 5? Saleh, Kubiak. I think you can put Mike McCarthy. I've come around on a couple college guys that I think are good options. I mean, I think you got to check in on 6.
Sure. I mean, I don't think he'd leave Indiana for this job.
No.
Saleh would be my top choice 10 out of 10 times. I would go all in on Robert Saleh. Desert Vulture, how can I apply to be a coach? WTF. It's not a fun life, early on when you're not getting paid the big bucks and you never see your family, and it can sometimes be a thankless job. So they're paid a premium though. And that's where a lot of the fans are just like, I don't feel sorry for you. You're making money I'll never see.
How about Shane is back watching JG Presser yesterday with all the smiling and does not give an F. Attitude is a guy who knows he's safe, arrogant, and annoying. Hope I'm wrong. He's got to go.
I just think he can't do anything that's going to appease anybody right now. And I thought his presser, Shane, more so on Sunday was more of a current like temperature check of where he's at. And he looked like he had seen a ghost on Sunday.
Gannon's whole thing is he's got to keep that, he has got to stay stoic. And he's got to also, on a day-to-day basis, has to keep the enthusiasm up. And regardless of what the results were on Sunday, he's going to come in on Monday with a forward-thinking mindset. That's how he's built. That's his process. So, like the Monday after a loss, if he seems chippy, if he seems arrogant, he's trying to move forward, right or wrong. That's how I see it. Keeping it going here with the super chats. $9.99. Thank you, Adrian, who we've been seeing in the chat lately, and welcome. Love having your questions here in your chats. Why are the press conferences still a thing when all they do is give vanilla answers and smoke screens? Hard questions for them seems pointless. How do other reporters feel? Exactly that way. You've got Theo Mackey just firing 20 questions off, trying to get some sort of thing that resembles a different response. And you get the same response. It's too strength against strength as far as I'm going to ask a good question and I'm going to give you nothing. Like that's those are two unstoppable forces there at play. It's and also like as far as press conferences, I think that there is probably direction as far as not provide much information because what's it going to ultimately get you or where is it going to get you? So it's
they don't want to play gotcha ball. But
right.
then don't put your coordinators up there. Then
right.
don't have them available.
Yeah. But then also I think that would be if they pulled them back, that'd be them showing and waving a white flag.
You can't now.
Right.
You either commit to it in the first place or don't do it in the first place. And they try to have their cake and eat. Look at we're making our coordinators available. Isn't this great? No, it's doing more harm than good. Shane Lame, 199. Shut down MHJ, Paris Johnson Jr., and Walter Nolan for the season. Pointless. I think Walton and Marv, if they're healthy, need to play. I think Walt needs the reps. And Marvin was playing well before he got hurt. Paris has been a model Cardinal, and he's played all year on this crap team. If he needs a month, give him a month. Like I'm not interested in seeing Paris. And again, Kelvin Beachum, move over left tackle, figure it out at right tackle, and move on.
This is awesome. Steven Jackson is gifting 5 PHNX Sports memberships, supporters. That's unbelievable, Steven. You're the man. It's a diehard. We just love Steve. And the fact that he's given away the gift of the supporter status. You're the real MVP. 5 of those bad boys. That's unbelievable. Thank you, Steven.
Bees, $2. Brightside. Drew is a great tank commander. Tanks away. Tanks a lot, Drew. Shane Lame, $4.99. How crazy is it? 23 season was more successful than this year. They won 4 games with a team playing scraps. This downfall needs to be studied. It's a coaching problem. And that year, what could they do, though? They could run the football. They went to Pittsburgh and ran it. They went to Philadelphia and ran it. Well, they don't have a coach now on offense that can help them do that. And if your OC can't do that, what the hell is he doing? Why is he around? Why do you have him?
Yeah. Another super chat here. How about Cruz? Can you guys do a breakdown on all the holes Monty will have to fill this offseason? Feels like another rebuild is coming. Now, I sent you a text where I thought, like, I was trying to forecast the starters that the Arizona Cardinals, surefire starters that the Cardinals would have. There was a significant amount of holes as far as that goes. We absolutely will do a breakdown as far as that as the offseason approaches. The Cardinals will have 51 players on their contract when the season ends going into 2026. But as we know with like Kyler, as we know with Jonah, as we know with Justin Jones, Bilal Nichols, those guys are under contract, but those guys will not be Cardinals in 2026.
Topic 64. Thank you so much. I sit back and don't say much, but we forget saved game 1. Fumble, caused fumble for Nolan TD, playing 3 different positions with a grade 3 hammy that's getting worse. Sometimes you just got to know. Of course, topic 64, a big supporter of Jalen Thompson, who's having a good year, probably the best year of any safety on the team, and has been a consistent presence on the back end and probably being asked to do too much. And the rest of the defense, unfortunately, has not stepped up. So we appreciate you, topic 64. And if Jalen Thompson hits free agency, we hope he cashes in. We appreciate everybody here on a Football Tuesday, Bo.
We've got one more super chat, or actually a couple more, but we had Bees yesterday get a super chat in. We did not read it, Noah. Could you pay that off? Because we want Bees to get a super chat read.
Yes, yesterday Bees said, thirsty for joy, quenched by pain, the AZ Sports way.
It's beautiful. Is that a poem? How about level 7 or LVL 7? Did you guys know I'm in the top 0.1% of your viewers? Love you guys, but it's going to be harder to consume anything Cardinals related if major changes are not made.
We get that. And as much as we love having Jonathan Gannon on this show and the support of JG, it's just like we understand. Plus, like, we want to see this team win. Like that trumps everything. And if Bo and I are going to sit here every day and we're not going to be able to spin JG if this continues, like it just is what it is. This franchise, I said it yesterday, this franchise needs a reset. I don't think they need a rebuild, but they need a reset. We appreciate everybody watching live here on a Football Tuesday. Hit that like button, subscribe to PHNX Sports. Big show on Wednesday, mañana. Of course, we got our guy Brian Baldinger, and we can begin to kind of maybe preview Houston on Sunday, Bo.
Yeah, update on Walter Nolan and Marvin Harrison Jr. expected. Probably Trey Benson news that he likely will be not activated come tomorrow, and his window will close and his season will come to an unceremonious end. All that information, you can find it as it happens at PHNX_Cardinals. Follow me at Bo Brock. Follow our guy. Yeah, it was a nice haiku. Johnny Venerable. A big thanks to Noah and all of you for your super chats. And we'll talk to you tomorrow, same bad time, 4:30, right here, PHNX Cardinals.
We all silly like the mayor.